What's up, everyone? It is Flipman Dan with another episode of Uncommon Profit. Today, we have a very special guest, fellow cryptographer, Preston Pyle. It's great to have you on today, my friend.
Flip man, Dan, long time watcher of the content. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Great, man. So, first of all, let's get started with the topic of today, and that, of course, is cryptocurrency. You and I both are fellow dabblers in cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
More so recently, it seems. We've been trying to catch the bull run.
Yeah.
Now looking quite bearish. But tell me a little bit about how you began with crypto.
Yeah. I mean, I'd always been a person on the sidelines, right? I love stocks. I've always been into IPOs or initial public offerings, new companies with a lot of risk. That was my thing. But I work in the supply chain space. That's my day job. And I always knew that it was very volatile. It goes up and down. You hear about these crypto millionaires that are like 17 years old, pushing a Bugatti. I kind of thought it was not legit. And then I joined this company that we basically buy and acquire Amazon businesses. So entrepreneurs who have started a successful fulfilled by Amazon business selling products online, they sell to us. And I would just get to talking to a lot of these successful young entrepreneurs. And my biggest question was after the lights, the cameras had come off from our business discussions, I said, how did you do this? How did you get started? How did you pay for all this inventory? And they said, crypto, man. It was uncanny. Quite a few of them in this big community of Amazon folks were involved in the initial bull run back in 2017 and used a lot of those profits to start their Amazon businesses. And so that just kind of took hold for me is all these different income streams, these passive types of income can lead to other passive, open you up for more types of passive income. And I had to get involved with it.
Damn. So all new entrepreneurs seem to have their finger on the pulse of cryptocurrency, and it's one of those things where it seems like you don't want to get left behind. So how has cryptocurrency in your mind changed the landscape for these entrepreneurs?
So I think it allowed them to band together in a union of like-minded individuals. I mean, in some of these entrepreneurs that have kind of formed this cohort, navigating the Amazon system, we're doing the same thing with cryptocurrency a few years ago. So it's a bunch of mom and pop shops that come together in a community, grow value together, much like they do on Amazon. They did that with cryptocurrency back in 2017.
Great. So the market cap for cryptocurrency currently is around $2 trillion, which is kind of the same market cap for, say, a company like Apple. So it's
Mm-hmm.
big, but it's not, otherworldly big right now.
Mm-hmm.
It still seems to be not globally adapted as something to take serious, although it seems to be on the top of mind of the cultural vernacular, if you will, with the Doge explosion and all these other alt and shit coins that are popping up left and right as get rich quick schemes. How do you see the get rich quick crowd kind of meshing with the actual serious investors, and how is that all going to play out here in the future?
Yeah, totally. Like anything, the first movers in many spaces are completely, not just complete degenerates, but completely, devoid of all logic and reason. It makes no sense at first glance to band together, invest in something that has, on the surface, no value, and then continue to pass that lack of value on to the next sucker, so to speak. But I think what's completely powerful about it is the ability for me and anyone across the world, doesn't matter what their base currency is at home, we can get involved in a community, in a project, and microfinance to people in the third world. We can start a business and pool resources together for some sort of other project without the worries of taxation, or even there's a huge ability to keep anonymity. It's really community building on a whole different level than just what's up down the street. It's completely global, and that's a huge draw. And I think when people start to realize that, it's gonna be incredible.
Speaking of kind of like anonymity and taxation and that whole stuff, Biden just came out with a statement saying that they're shooting for by 2023 to have all cryptocurrency transactions run through the IRS above $10,000. So I feel like it's just beginning with governments and financial institutions that are trying to rein in cryptocurrency. How do you see this playing out in the future with as it becomes more popular with the rules of today and finances trying to get their reins around cryptocurrency?
Yeah, just like anything, you're going to see the government try and play catch up. And there are technologies available in the blockchain that will shield you from that. I liken it to a VPN. If you're someone in China that's looking to access the dark corners of the internet, they can talk the big game, and power to them, right? It definitely, cryptocurrency threatens everything, the status quo of American taxation and commerce and economy. So yeah, of course they're going to try and rein it in, but that's what the technology is to prevent that. So at its core, they're always going to be playing catch up. And if you kind of think 100 years from now, this cryptocurrency is at least this first step for us to move away from governments as we know it. And I'm not an anarchist by any means, but you see all these future, the science fiction where you have a multinational corporation that is over governments, or in a united world. Cryptocurrency is kind of a broker between those two, and to prevent both corporations and governments to get too much power. So good luck, Joe. But you're a little late, and the whole point of blockchain is to prevent you from being able to do that.
I know it seems like the decision makers almost don't realize how cryptocurrency works. And it's one of those things where it seems like it's going to get a lot uglier before they figure out how and what ways they can kind of get their dirty little hands on it. But I understand what they're saying. Like, if you think about a global future where cryptocurrency is going to reign supreme, there does need to be some sort of give and take when it comes to, I guess, taxes and paying into the institutions and the nations that you are from. But how that plays out, I have no idea up to this point. So
yeah, we're in the infancy, right, of it. I mean, we're in dial-up compared to where we can be going. I'm sure, and I'm involved in a coin right now, which is it's called Bank Social, and it's aiming to be some sort of like a bank of the future, for people to be involved in microloans within each other. Of course, there's a taxation incumbent in that coin, that I think lends to the ability to be able to, for at least some sort of institution to take a slice and provide services for what's going on underneath. It's there, but yeah, what form will it be? I doubt the U.S. government is going to come out with their own cryptocurrency, but maybe.
Speaking of that, they actually just announced. Well, not that they plan on doing this, but they're it's in the infancy of plans. It's called the Central Bank Digital Currency, or CBDC, and it's developing to complement the U.S. dollar, which is kind of hysterical that they're almost again trying to play catch up by making their own cryptocurrency. And when you give the choice to the people, are they going to choose something like this? It's hard to tell at this point because right now it's poo coins or Doge or whatever, Shiba Inu, you name it. They'll whatever is looking like it's going to be the big mover, they'll invest in. So these government-backed coins, I think we're going to see more of in the future. So what is your opinion about where we're at currently? There's been a huge pullback with prices. It's been a crazy bull run. Now it's a huge pullback. Where do you think we're at currently in the short term and the long term with crypto?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think we're all in our own camps right now. There's a lot of talk and a lot of thought depending on which conspiracy theorist you're talking to, that believes that behind all of this cryptocurrency is China, and they're looking to suck out all the income that they can from the US and take those dollars and pump it into their own economy or something like that. I don't necessarily believe that's the case. What I do know is that we're incredibly siloed, in that everyone that's involved in these cryptocurrency communities, because really that's what it is. It takes a village to come together and assign value to intangible objects. It's going to have to take some sort of collective coming together, and what are our goals? It can't just be, I want to take this shit coin to the moon and buy a Lambo. That's just not feasible, and you're not going to get anybody that way. There has to be some value that comes from people banding together. And it needs to be a value that's a shared human value, not so much an American ideal or a Chinese ideal or any other country. So it's going to be really about, I would say, a council, but it can't necessarily. But the whole nature of cryptocurrency is to be anti-institutional. So it's a juxtaposition. It's tough, but there will have to be some sort of alignment and some overall utility that comes from these currencies. Right now, it's all NFTs. That's the main product that these cryptocurrencies give you, and it's just not enough. It's not enough of a draw to get a 60-some-year-old retiree to get involved with it.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, the NFTs definitely seem like there's future use cases. It seems like also we're just trying to figure out how to best utilize NFTs. But obviously some of the issues with Ethereum and the gas fees and that sort of thing, like it's difficult for these transactions to take place without costing a shit ton of money. And some of these other coins are solving these problems. But yeah, I agree. I mean, the coins that will eventually solve some either humanitarian issue or have a great purpose behind them, that is, I guess at the end of the day, easily understandable, because so much of cryptocurrency is hard to understand. And, even me explaining it to parents or people that are out of the know just think it's fairy dust. And to a certain extent, it kind of is, but it's just, again, on the backs of people that are willing to add value to that with their own monetary input. So, coming back to the run and like where we're at currently, if we are in the infancy, how big do you see this becoming? And where does something like, say, Bitcoin end up in 1 to 5 years?
Yeah, there's a whole different, a whole slew of directions that it could go. When you think about the social movements that occurred in the US last year, Black Lives Matter, even Blue Lives Matter, the Trump and the Capitol riots, you can see there's an intense desire for social movements and extreme social change on either side of the aisle. And so these two will have to be linked for it to get big. Otherwise, you're right, it's just going to be some tweens searching for the Lambo. And then also, the environmental concerns. There has to be an evolution of it to take away the value of the currency shouldn't be based on the amount of gas and oil that it took to create it or mine it. It would need to be the value that is assigned with the people that hold it and what they do with it. So yeah, we talk about NFTs. If there were some real life applications to the NFTs, I think that you could see this becoming the future of art. For an example, your local coffee shop, I'm sure there's plenty of unsold art on the wall there. If that was represented digitally with an NFT backed up by some sort of physical presence that remains in that coffee shop, there would be incredible value to people wanting to own a piece of the art on the wall of that coffee shop. You would get money on the transactions, and then the notoriety from that transaction in the digital world could possibly lead to tourism at your local coffee shop. I mean, think about that. That is a practical application of this technology, backed up by actual real assets. Because right now it's all ethereal. Once you start bringing that physical component into it, it starts to gain some real value.
It's ethereal with Ethereum. So that's but the some of the other use cases that we're seeing as well, some of the stuff that like say Gary Vee is doing with selling NFTs that are actually tickets to his conference or something like that.
Mhm.
I think we're going to see a lot more ticket and event based NFTs
Mm.
just because the resale market that can get money back to the sports teams if they make their tickets NFTs, and if it's widely accepted enough that people are willing to go that route. I can see that definitely taking place. As far as where we're at with the levels of crypto, I think that we're kind of in the middle to beginning stages of the bull run, even though there was this
Mhm.
huge pullback. I feel
Mhm.
like altcoins and Bitcoin, because they're so married, where one goes, the other follows.
Mhm.
I think they're going to start moving up a very large amount. And, again, this isn't investment advice because we're just a bunch of crypto amateurs.
Yeah.
But I have faith that this is going to break all time highs fairly soon. So hopefully in the next few months.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much education that's going on, about it. I mean, fast forward, cut back 6 months ago, all I knew about was Ethereum and Bitcoin. Now there's this whole ecosystem beneath the surface on these platforms that people are storing value, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah. So, do you have any pieces of advice for someone looking to get into cryptocurrency?
Yeah, absolutely. First is to be on the cutting edge, is to do research and understand the ecosystem and really try and understand it. I mean, it's going to take weeks of looking at blogs, Wikipedia, just trying to get an understanding, reread what the white papers on some of these coins, what are they looking to do, and really, really understand that there has to be some sort of value or some sort of utility beneath the surface of this coin before you get involved with it. Once you're confident about that, that will empower you to hold and not become emotionally attached to the ups and downs that come with this incredibly volatile asset.
All solid advice. So, Preston, what's in the future for you and either crypto and or your new gig that you got going on with these fellow entrepreneurs?
Yeah, no, in the realm of crypto, it's going to be all about what's the next best thing and building community. Being involved in a shit coin can actually be tons of fun. Um, I'm involved in a few where we have Telegram groups. We are on voice chats every night. I've made friends from across the world, and regardless if we buy or sell, we're there. We're talking about the future of income. We're talking about businesses, ideas, collaboration. It's kind of, as someone who doesn't like social media, or doesn't have an Instagram, what have you, this has been a much more authentic place for me to develop new relationships, particularly being so far away from home, right? So it's been great. I'll continue to try and get involved in some of these coins that have real world applications, and see where it goes. My biggest advice is to learn what's new, buy in, sell a part of it, take profits, and then hold the rest for the long term for your retirement. So that's my thing. As far as gig, yeah, it's been a completely wild ride. I've learned a lot in working with a lot of FBA entrepreneurs as we build an aggregator. The company I work for, Boosted Commerce, we're really, really big on keeping our sellers involved once they sell their business to us. And as we make our platform bigger, we want to share their vision. So it's just going to be learning a lot more about the e-commerce ecosystem and building the future of e-commerce. It's exciting. It's the hardest thing I've ever done, that's for sure. But I would definitely, if you're out there and you like selling stuff, to think about starting your own e-commerce company and seeing where it can go, developing a brand, because there is a huge market out there once you've proven a concept to purchase and scale it and take it to where you may not be able to. And that's what I think is a great thing about at least this industry that I'm in now, is to really reward those entrepreneurs, provide them an exit so they can continue to add value out there in the economy.
That's great, man. Definitely want to get involved with the selling and e-commerce side of things. So currently it's all most in person pretty much with
Yeah.
these OfferUp and eBay gigs that we got going on in the side hustles. But it's always great to learn some new stuff. Do you have any words of wisdom or stuff that you've learned from these companies that you've worked with at Boosted, sorry. And anything that takeaways from what these people have in common besides they all funded it with crypto.
The biggest thing that they did it was get involved in the community. And that to me was always like one of the biggest barriers. I've never been one to reach out and seek relationships with other people online that even may have common interests with me. I just thought it was weird. I'd rather the in-person stuff. But particularly with the pandemic and everything that's gone on in the past year, you got to find people out there that share these common goals and experiences. Amazon is a tough ecosystem to get involved in. They change the rules on you. They really take advantage of their places, their monopoly on that digital storefront. So you got to do it with others, and it could be people in your same industry. It could be people in other industries selling other products, but you've got to work with other people because you can share the pain, but also share the gain.
Cool, man. Thank you so much, Preston, for joining us today. Is any final thoughts? Anything you want to share with the Flipman Dan brethren and sisters?
No, I'm thinking about getting a Flipman Dan North going on. I started some my garage side hustles, so I'll keep you posted. But also keep up the content, man. I love it. It makes me happy when I'm having a rough day. I appreciate all you're doing.
Thank you so much, man, and good luck with the flipping.
Will do. All right. Talk to you later.
Peace. All right, sick, man. Good shit.
Good stuff. Thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Kirk sees it and he's the first comment, hopefully.